Imagine your child going missing, not knowing where they are, or if they're involved in sexual exploitation, forced labor, or organ harvesting, and not knowing if you will ever see them again. For Carla Jacinta's mother, this became her reality when her daughter was just 12 years old. For 4 years, she worried day and night about her daughter, and for 4 straight years, Carla was forced to service 30 to 40 men each day. She estimates she was raped 42,000 times. Because of the horror of this story, I decided to research this terrible problem. With this being the reality of the world we live in, it is important for everyone to be informed of this problem to prevent it happening to you or a loved one. Today we'll explore the issue of human trafficking by first looking at the problem and second examining the solutions four charities provide. Julia Brochure will inform us of the Tyler's Refuge of Light charity. Caleb Wood will tell us about the Code charity. And Myriam Bautista will discuss the Polaris charity. And Samuel Ortiz will examine the Destiny Rescue charity. To begin, let's explore why it is a problem for our society when human trafficking occurs. Let's do this by exploring the history, the present, and the possible future if we do not make a change. According to the Do Something website, last accessed on May 20th, 2020, human trafficking is a crime that forcefully exploits women, men, and children into forced labor or marriage, prostitution, and organ removal. According to the Hankering for History website, last visited on May 20th, 2020, human trafficking is known as modern-day slavery and was first recognized in 1700 for sexual purposes. Trafficking victims are obtained in multiple ways. The Do Something website goes on to say that the human traffickers lure in their victims using charm, lies and deception, as well as promising a better life and an opportunity to make money. These promises are all false. Advocates report a growing trend of traffickers using online social media platforms to recruit targets. In addition, traffickers trick their victims into vulnerability and abduct them with tactics such as drugging them with a shot or placing an advertisement on their car door or money on their windshield containing chemicals that make them drowsy when they touch it. They also turn on all of the victims' water faucets outside their home on full blast so that they think there is a broken pipe. Another tactic is placing a recording of a crying baby on a woman's front porch whenever she is home alone. Additionally, traffickers stage that their car has broken down or ran out of gas so that a victim will stop and help them. Finally, traffickers will knock on a potential victim's door, pleading that they are badly wounded and need help. Soon after abducting these victims, they dye and cut their hair and change their clothes so that the victims are not able to be recognized. Having successfully obtained their victims, the traffickers then use physical and psychological threats, humiliation, beatings, sleep deprivation, and malnutrition to maintain control. Traffickers arrange for the victims to be transported through airlines, trains, and typically long-distance buses such as the Greyhound. Victims are often hidden in the cargo space of 18-wheelers or stuffed in suitcases. What we often don't realize is many of these victims are hidden in plain sight as passengers on a plane, a train, or a bus. To the human eye, we would never know these individuals are human trafficking victims because the victims will not speak out because of the fear for their life or the thought that they are going to a promising life. Now that we have examined the history, let's examine the present status of this problem. According to the Human Trafficking Hotline, last visited on May 20th, 2020, there are approximately 40.3 million victims globally, and the number only continues to rapidly rise each year. The Do Something website also states that only 0.04% of the cases are identified, meaning that most go undetected and the victims are never saved. In 2018, over half of the cases of criminal human trafficking in the U.S. were sexual trafficking cases involving only children. The average teen enters the sex trade world in the United States at the age of 12 to 14 years old, with many of them being runaway children who were sexually abused. In addition to sexual abuse, poverty is a large factor that makes individuals vulnerable to human trafficking because they believe they're receiving a better life, a wealthy spouse, or a great job. But in reality, they never receive any of this. Now that we have discussed the present status of this problem, let's look at the possible future if we do not make a change. With earning a global profit of roughly $150 billion per year, the problem will only continue to rise and worsen. If we don't make a change, eventually, our children will not be able to safely play in the front yard, go to the movies with their friends, or even simply pump gas in their own car. Please help me give a warm welcome to Julia Brochure, who will tell us about one of the possible solutions to this dire problem, the Refuge of Light charity. Today, we have explored the issue of human trafficking by first looking at the problem and second, examining the solutions the four charities provided. Julia Brochure informed us of the Tyler's Refuge of Light charity. Caleb Wood told us about the Code charity. Myram Bautista discussed the Polaris charity, and Samuel Ortiz examined the Destiny Rescue charity. Carla Jacinto's mother could not fathom what her daughter was experiencing. For 4 years, she could do nothing but wonder. Mrs. Jacinto was extremely lucky for her daughter to be part of the 0.04% of the victims that are saved. Take a stand against human trafficking. Together, we can stop this problem and allow millions of individuals to live the free life they deserve.